Ant-Man and the Wasp are back. But this time they're accidentally taking the whole family into the quantum realm on a journey into mystery and to deal with the time-traveling terrorism of Kang the Conqueror. So let's turn off our regulators, keep our helmets on, and see what these Pym particles can do. Here's your IMDb cheat sheet for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Meet Scott Lang, a recently released convict who's doing his best to reconnect with his daughter Cassie, but can't seem to hold down a normal job, so naturally he gets talked into...
I was at a wine tasting with my cousin Ernesto.
Oh, hey, I'm narrating this recap.
What?
Anyway, he gets talked into burglaring this old house where he finds nothing but this weird-looking suit, which can actually shrink. Turns out it was created by Dr. Henry Hank Pym, a brilliant, somewhat combative scientist who's also a former member of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the original Ant-Man. Hank also created the Pym particles, which can reduce or increase mass as well as density and strength. Hank's former protege, Darren Cross, is furious that Hank won't give him the Pym particles, so he creates his own version and plans to sell it to the highest bidder. Seeing the potential dangers the particles could present to the world, Hank teams up with his estranged daughter, Hope Van Dyne, to sabotage his own company, Pymtech, and steal Darren's new evil-looking suit, the Yellow Jacket. Back to the not-so-astonishing tales of Scott Lang, turns out Hank puppet-mastered this whole break-into-the-house steal-the-suit gig and offers Scott a shot at redemption by becoming the new Ant-Man. So he can then break into Pymtech and steal another suit.
I'm gonna make some tea.
Through a lot of training with the much more qualified for the job Hope, throwing around size-altering Pym discs, becoming best buds with all those cute little ants, teaming up with goober thief friends, and even a quick mini-heist at the Avengers headquarters,
It's really important to me that Cap never finds out about this.
Scott is finally ready to save the day, and he's captured. Well, Darren was one step ahead of the team the whole time. Thankfully, Scott escapes and helps destroy all of Pymtech. But Darren suits up and gets personal by going after Scott's daughter, Cassie.
Are you a monster?
After an epic battle of good versus evil that transcends the boundaries of all size and matter, Scott realizes the only way to stop Darren is to go subatomic and destroy the Yellow Jacket suit from the inside. The only problem with going subatomic is that you can't stop shrinking and you'll eventually end up in a really crazy place called the Quantum Realm. Something that unfortunately Hank's wife Janet had to do back in 1987 to stop a Soviet missile. Well, Scott does it, and boy does it get trippy from here. Luckily, he maintains his sanity during this trip and inserts a spare embiggen Pym disc into his regulator, growing right out of the quantum realm. And it looks like everything's coming up Scott Lang. Hope finally sees him as not a total idiot, and maybe even as a potential partner. He's also on good terms with his ex-wife, Cassie's got a giant pet ant, and he's teaming up with the Avengers. Well, it's sort of. He's teaming up with some of the Avengers to fight other Avengers, and I don't know, it's a whole registration thing. Oh, and Spider-Man's there too. You know, can he talk to spiders like Ant-Man can talk to ants? Who's the better bug hero in this situation? Anyway, Scott rides a Hawkeye arrow, gets really freaking big, and finally embraces being a true superhero.
Something just flew in me!
The Civil War fallout put Scott on house arrest for 2 years, but luckily that gave him plenty of daughter-daddy bonding time, as well as the ability to start a new security business with his boneheaded burglar buddies. Before he knows it, he's only got like 2 more days left on this annoying house arrest, and he's captured. But by Hope. Turns out that she and her dad, who haven't spoken to Scott in some time, were busy building a tunnel to the quantum realm to rescue Janet. And Scott has some kind of psychic link with Janet after his exposure to the quantum realm.
We think when you were down there, you may have entangled with her.
Hank, I would never do that. I respect you too much.
Things get complicated when Hope tries to buy a part to complete the tunnel from black market dealer Sonny Birch, who really just wants all that Pymtech for himself. But don't worry, Hope's got her own fancy suit now.
Hold on, you gave her wings?
And she's a lot better at it than Scott was. And a little peeved that Scott didn't reach out to her to help out with that Civil War thing.
It was a matter of national security. The Cap needed help.
Cap?
Captain America, Captain.
Anyway, things get even more complicated again when a new villain, the intangibly altering Ghost, shows up to steal the part and Hank's shrunken down portable lab because she's going through a bit of a phase due to a childhood quantum accident.
You're not the one who's about to fade away into nothing, Bill.
It's not a good phase.
What?
She's teaming up with Hank's old colleague, Bill Foster, who also wants to get Janet back, but he wants to extract quantum energy from her that she's absorbed in the quantum realm and use it to balance Ghost's molecular structure. Then there's a lot of car chases, with big and little cars and Scotts of various sizes, small, medium, large, and way too large.
I'm just gonna go to sleep now.
Plus a healthy mix of the FBI, battles with Sonny's goons, and a final showdown with Ghost. While all that is happening, Hank is deep in the quantum realm, where he finally reunites with his wife, Janet, who does end up snapping Ghost out of her phasing issues via quantum energy. And hey, speaking of snaps... During a quick exploration of the quantum realm, Thanos did that thing where he killed off half the population, including Hope, Hank, and Janet, who were all operating the quantum tunnel, leaving Scott stranded in the quantum realm. 5 years later. Or 5 hours later for Scott, who escapes the realm to a much different Earth post-Thanos snap. Thankfully, Cassie is still alive, but a lot older. At this point, poor Scott has lost a combined 8 years of his daughter's life. But after joining up with Captain America and Black Widow, he theorizes that by harnessing the quantum realm's power, the heroes could go back in time and stop Thanos. Or as Scott dubs it,
Time heist?
you know what, Tony Stark just doesn't get it, but Smart Hulk totally does. Well, actually, maybe he doesn't.
Somebody peed my pants. Time travel!
Luckily, Stark does actually get it and steps in to help crack this quantum code, giving our heroes the ability to time travel all over the place to collect the Infinity Stones. Plus, Scott got the opportunity to salute Captain America's backside.
That is America's ass.
But unfortunately, Thanos from the past shows up in present day for one final epic all-star superhero showdown where everybody works together to save the day.
We're on it, Cap.
Scott even punches a giant sky whale. And Captain America picks up Thor's hammer and he says, "Avengers assemble!" They all come back and then Iron Man and Spider-Man hug, and then Black Panther remembers who Hawkeye is, and he's got the Infinity Gauntlet, but Spider-Man flies through the air like whoosh on Mjolnir. He's holding the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos doesn't even know who Scarlet Witch is, but then she almost kills him. And Captain Marvel's so strong, but then Thanos is even stronger with the Power Stone. He punches her whoosh, and then Iron Man dies. And that brings us to Quantumania. But who's this Kang guy? Well, we got a little glimpse of him, or at least a variation of him, in the final episode of Loki under the moniker of He Who Remains, who hangs out at a castle at the end of time. A variant of this guy from Earth in the 31st century discovered the existence of the multiverse, which ultimately led to a multiversal war, which then led this variant to create the Time Variance Authority to preserve the sacred timeline.
Just wait till you meet my variants.
Now, he did all this because along with the discovery of the multiverse, he also met and worked with several variants of himself. And turns out some of them were not all that good, like Kang the Conqueror, who, like his name implies, only wants to conquer and rule over the multiverse. All of this was explained to Loki and Sylvie, a variant of Loki, who gets pissed, stabs He Who Remains, causing the multiverse to fracture and the inevitable rise of Kang the Conqueror.
See you soon.
So it looks like we're finally gonna see what this Kang the Conqueror is all about. Probably conquering, but why does he need Scott's help? And what other Scotts are we gonna see in the quantum realm?
Hey, what's up? I'm Tane.
Wait a minute, how many Scotts are there? And who will survive the quantum realm?
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.